Merry Christmas, everybody. Hey, tested patrons and others. I am answering your questions today, and today's question comes from Fix It Tony, who wants to know, what general definition of making do you subscribe to, and when is someone considered a maker? Fix It Tony, thank you for this awesome question. You're allowing me to express my hatred of gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is almost always a fool's errand or a cruelty. There's no utility in gatekeeping, in my opinion. And so, when I encounter people who say, I'm not a maker, it usually doesn't take me more than a minute or two to understand that they definitely are. We all are. And it is not there's no water level. I don't think that there's a water level to being a maker. I don't think that there's a ground floor. Whenever you set out to make something from nothing, using your point of view, you are a maker. That might be a rhyming couplet, a sonnet, a dress, a table, a car, a glass bottle. That's it. It doesn't require any level of skill past the idea that you see a need in the world, you have a desire to realize something and make it extant where it did not exist. Again, that could be a concept or a thing. That could be a song or a house. I can't get any broader than that. But every time you set out to make something from nothing, you are making. You are not only making, but you are participating in the great conversation of culture. And that's one of the things we're here to do. We're here to share our experiences and try and figure out what the hell is going on in this crazy mess. And I mean the universe, right? Like, why am I sentient and this roll of tape is not? Maybe it is. I just don't know how to communicate with a roll of tape. That might sound like a ridiculous question, but frankly, if the atoms that make up the colony of me have some ability to be self-aware, then I don't have much proof that everything else isn't that way. It could be. Years ago, some friends of mine asked me to be their minister and to marry them. And I have since then, over the past 25 years, married about 25 different couples. And in every case, I've done it under the aegis of the Universal Life Church. And the Universal Life Church is a wonderful organization that basically takes its marching orders from the Bible. And there's a passage in the Bible that says, if you think you are ready to spread the word, then you are ready to spread the word. And while we have a separation of church and state, we do have a requirement that an ordained minister must perform a wedding. But because of the separation of church and state, there is no rule saying what is an ordained minister. And the Universal Life Church, which is a real church, says, we'll ordain anyone who expresses the interest. And as a maker, I will say, I ordain everyone as a maker who merely expresses an interest in making. Yes, because that's all that it takes. It takes an interest. And you scratch at that interest, and something interesting happens. You make something from nothing. And maybe it's really small. And maybe you don't show it to anyone, but it feeds you. And you look at it, and you're like, I'm really happy I made this. Or, I made this so I could make it a little better. So you make it again. You make it again. And then you feel like you've made that thing. So now you move on to another thing. And slowly you build this roster of tools for exploration and explanation and exaltation. Because when you make something that you love, it's a really remarkable experience. And then you start looking out, and then you make something for somebody else. And then when you make something that somebody else loves, holy hell, the whole world cracks open, man. So I really want to iterate that if you want to come up to me and say you don't think you're a maker, I'm going to engage in a conversation with you in which I convince you that you most decidedly are. It's not about tools. It's not about materials. It's not about knowledge. It's about what's going on here. Yeah. Fix It Tony, thank you so much for that awesome question. Tested patrons, keep submitting your questions. I will continue to answer them. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time.